What's up, Ryan?
What's up?
So, what's up with the unit?
The unit, it's gonna close. It's gonna go away, and makes me sad to think about. But it's time. It's run its course, and I think I have about a week left, and then it's got to go.
Why?
Well, how far back do I want to go with this? So I moved to California, and obviously California is nowhere near North Carolina. So during that time, I was thinking about trying to get rid of, the building, either sell the building or lease the building, something. But it was just didn't make sense being in California to have this amazing place that I couldn't ride. And every time I had someone kind of come in with some kind of interest towards either renting or buying, I would get just the biggest ache in my heart. And I was like, I don't want to lose this place. So for the longest time, I kind of was hopeful that something would happen, but also at the same time crushed, thinking that something could happen in the place. So everything that ever came up fell through. Nothing ever happened. And then after 9 years living in California, I moved back to North Carolina, and I told the guy, I was like, take it off the market. I'm going to use it. I'm only 2 hours away living in Wilmington, so that's way better than living in California. I'll actually be able to ride on a semi-regular basis. And then one day I got a phone call from the realtor, and he was like, hey, I know we just took it off the market, but I have this company that wants to look at it. And I was like, okay, show it to him. And then there's certain things wrong with the building that you can't really lease it out easily. And everything that was a problem with the building was not a problem for this tenant. And being that I'm 39 and probably closer to the end of my career than the beginning, I couldn't pass up, which is essentially the only income that the unit has ever had. So this company kind of kept looking at it, and they decided that it was perfect for their business. And that meant that if I signed the lease, I had to get rid of the unit. And so I signed the lease probably about 2 weeks ago. And now I'm just in the process of making plans to figure out how to tear it down.
How long did they sign a lease for?
The lease they signed is for 5 years.
So you're guaranteed to have a giant rented property making you money for 5 years.
Yeah. So
it's a great thing for you and your family.
Yeah. So the upside of all this is that the lease will be for 5 years, and that will be basically income for the next 5 years for myself and my family. So that's the silver lining. It's not very silver, because I think the second I start trying to unscrew a skate light or cut trainings apart, it's just going to tear my heart apart. There's been multiple times where I actually stood in that building thinking that I was going to have to tear it down, and literally was just sat there going I don't want to do this. This place, it's I don't know. It's one of those things where it's it's a very special place to me for obvious reasons. I ride bikes. It's an amazing place to ride bikes. But more than that, it's there's so much history there with my friends, with people from out of town, amazing sessions. And for that reason, it's really hard to do this. It sucks. So I'm not happy about it, but it's a necessary thing to happen. And so it's just one of those things where I don't know, it's a bummer.
Well, the obvious question, what's happening with the ramps?
So the ramps from the unit, I'm going to take a bunch of the wood and probably build myself just something really simple and basic in my backyard. And then the rest of it is, right now, we're kind of trying to make the ramps live on in a different location. There's a town called Kinston, and this guy Kevin is thinking about maybe taking the ramps and putting up in a warehouse that he has access to. I've had a bunch of people tell me about other skate parks, other people that might want to do it. But right now, this one seems the most promising because it's not super far from Greenville. And if it does get re-put up, then I'll have an indoor spot that I can go ride if the weather starts getting bad, in the winter. So that's what I hope happens. But it literally seems like every single day the plans change. Right now, I literally have 1 week, and then it's going to be tear down time. But that could literally change the next day or so if something happens. So I'm kind of just living it day by day and figuring out what needs to happen. But I do have a firm deadline of the place needs to be cleared out, broom swept condition, February 1st. And
February 1st?
February 1st.
So you have all of January to kind of be working on this.
Yeah, and I think, it's the beginning of December now, but the unit, when you look at it in the sense of what it's going to take to tear that place down, if I had to actually tear it down and salvage skate light, metal, all this stuff, it's a process. Originally, my thought was I'll take the skate light off, I'll recycle the metal, and I'm going to rent a machine to go in there with the claw and just crunch this stuff up and put it in dumpsters. And that's going to be the easiest, fastest process. But like, that sucks because I know that someone out there would love to have the ramp, and I would love to see these ramps live on. So it's finding that balance of like making this work in the timeline that I need to, and also like, you know, I like having somebody shred these ramps. Nothing would make me happier than just see this thing live on in some other way, shape, or form.
So what does the next week or two entail for you as far as trying to get in a couple last sessions and also starting to break some shit?
Yeah, so this next week, I mean, it sucks because like some people are like, man, you gonna organize the last jam? Like, what's up? And I was like, I don't have time. Like, the thing is the company that's signed the lease, they dragged their feet for so long. So, you know, we have the C1 that we're doing right now. And then pretty soon we're going to be in the holidays, which I'm going back to California to visit family. So there's always things that pop up. And like, yeah, if I had like 2 months to tear down, I probably would just give myself a month and hire a crew. But the fact that all this stuff is in the way and going on, and literally I have to like kind of put in like a 30% buffer of like, oh shit, like I didn't think it was going to be this bad because it's going to be gnarly to tear that place down. I just need to give myself the most time I can possibly do because on top of that, like I have a family and, you know, like wife is running a business and like we're just doing all this other stuff too. So it's not just like this is my one focus. I have to fit this in where I can. So I got to kind of play it smart. So there won't be any kind of final jam. I'm going to try to go to this next week and ride as much as I can, but it's a 2-hour drive. So it's like realistically, I'm hoping to get like 2 to 3 more sessions in and just I don't even know if they're going to be banger. I might just be doing the fun lines that I do there all the time and just enjoying what I have while it's still there.
Are you going to cry?
God, I don't know, man. I might shed a tear. Like, this place is really important to me. It's been enough to where like I felt like I was going to cry before when I thought about tearing it down. So the fact it's here, I think the first time I start taking off skate light is going to really suck. Unscrewing anything, tearing down decks, whatever it is I got to do, that's going to suck. That's going to really is going to hit home because right now I go there and I have my bike, I have my pads, I'm, you know, just set up to ride. And like, there's going to be a time when I'm probably not going to bring my bike there, but I'm going to bring a truckload of tools. And that's going to be kind of the time when I'm like, oh man, this is for real.
So does everybody that knows you need to go help tear this beast down?
I've had a lot of people offer to tear it down. I know how that goes. It's BMX, you know, people love to ride, but when it comes to work, it's really hard to get people to sign up for it. So any help is appreciated, but realistically, it's like, it's got to be well managed too, because if this stuff is being salvaged, like it's basically going to be like a full workforce and someone has to manage that. So in some ways, I need reliable people that know how to swing a hammer, you know how to dismantle ramps, know how to use a saw. But yeah, it's going to be me and probably a handful of other people kind of just make it happen. And if it comes down to it, I'll hire a crew, you know, it really just comes down to like, it has to happen. And so however that has to happen, if I have to pay money to hire a crew or whatever, so be it. Final thought. This sucks. That's my final thought. I don't like it. But like I said, it's a necessary evil. And it's had an amazing run, you know. For, I think, 13 years or something like that, it's been around. So about half that time, I wasn't even really able to use it. So I love the fact that my friends were able to ride it. We had people visiting from out of town that could ride it. You know, it supplied a lot of really good times and good memories for a lot of people. So for that aspect, like I'm really happy with what happened there. You know, my whole goal with that place was to have, especially at the time in Greenville when we had so many top pros, to have people feel like it was their home too. And I always tell people, I was like, put the work in because it makes this place that much sweeter. You know, when you drive a screw in and you work on like sheeting with skate light, it makes it that much sweeter because you worked on it. You know, you put some sweat into it. So for me, you know, the people that did work on it and the amazing sessions we had, it's like that's the good stuff.